All right, I'm sure you all have heard recently that interest rates are back on the rise. We're expecting them to remain more elevated, potentially even go higher. And I wanted to share some tips on how to potentially navigate this in the current market and while you might be gearing up to buy a home or are coming along in that process. And so first off, the interest rate market is challenging right now, but you can never perfectly time any market, whether that's the interest rate market, the real estate market. It's always in flux. Rates are going to go up, they're going to go down. Right now is a little bit more of a challenging time when they're more elevated because obviously that directly impacts the cost of the mortgage and the home to you, has a huge impact on your monthly payment, and wanted to share some ideas on how to navigate this. First off, always important, I think, to start the process early. Get educated, talk with someone like me, understand your options, maybe look at even some different contingencies on where interest rates might be headed, whether they're going up or they're going down. This will help you understand your buying power and making sure that it's going to be comfortable month to month, but also it's not going to hinder your ability to qualify. If you find out that, okay, interest rates are at a certain level when I have that consultation, and then they rise to another level once you find the home and now you're priced out. So that's the first thing, start early, do your research, talk to a professional, really understand what's going on there. A lot of people are concerned about elevated interest rates for the long term and what that's going to do for home values. Generally speaking, as interest rates do continue to rise, that would in theory put pressure on home values just because it limits the demand and the ability for people to buy. And with that, we could see home values kind of plateau, potentially even come down again. Well, guess what? If home values are coming down, that's going to get more people into the market. Just like if interest rates in the future go down, we would expect more people to enter the market. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines because of these high interest rates, because home values are generally higher. It could still be a great time to buy right now, despite the higher interest rates, if you can afford it. It's only going to get more competitive, more cutthroat, and home values are going to trend back up as soon as we see a little bit of a correction there for either the values of the homes or interest rates themselves. And if you buy right now, good news is that at some point, where there's a lot of speculation and a lot of hope that interest rates are going to be lower in the future. We don't know exactly if and when and by how much. I mentioned in a previous video, my personal speculation is that I think interest rates are going to stabilize at some point in the 5s. And so the great news is that while yes, it might be a little bit more difficult to buy right now, and the budget is going to be a little bit strained, while we don't want anyone to be house poor, it can still be a good time to buy and to refinance later to a lower interest rate. And at that time, the budget will feel that relief and your monthly payment will go down. And so with this, given that we're seeing a lot of not only like month to month, week to week, we're also seeing day-to-day volatility with interest rates. Once you do find the home and are under contract to buy it, my recommendation with my clients is always to lock in the rates as soon as possible. There's a couple reasons why. One, it is volatile. The trend right now has not been in our favor. Things are trending more up than they're trending down. Number two, a small change in the market, because this all tracks the bond market, has a big impact potentially on your loan. And as an example, let's say the bond market moves 50 basis points, which is happening at times day to day right now. That's 0.5% of the loan amount. So on a $500,000 loan, your points and fees for the same interest rate could have gone up by $2,500. A way to avoid that and minimize that risk is to go ahead and lock in your interest rates sooner rather than later. And then lastly, there's a lot of studies just on general psychology that people hate surprises when it comes to finances. Specifically, the risk of them losing money or the risk of things getting worse far outweighs a similar or the same impact of an improvement on that monetary value. And so for those general psychological reasons, we like to avoid surprises, and a way that you can do that is to lock in interest rates. Typically that is done once you found the home, written an offer, had it accepted and are under contract. But we do also have a lock and shop program where if you are really risk averse on the potential for interest rates to rise, we can lock in the rate for a period of time while you're out shopping for the home. There are some additional considerations to that where you can reach out to me to get those specifics, or maybe I'll talk about it in another video. But the bottom line is there are ways to isolate yourself from those market movements. And like I mentioned earlier, as you're planning with your mortgage consultant, or we're sitting down to develop your game plan, we always want to look at various options, various purchase price ranges, various down payment amounts, various interest rates, because we don't want to necessarily plan and have you searching at the very top of your budget, given that if interest rates rise, that might not be within the budget anymore. So definitely don't overextend your budget. Like I said, we don't want you to feel house poor. We don't want you to fall in love with the home and ultimately have it not be a great opportunity for you or viable opportunity for you. And so that's where this planning is very important and very valuable. So with all of that, don't let interest rates scare you. It's something that can be navigated. Talk with a mortgage professional. I'd love to personally help you out. So feel free to reach out to me. And with that, I'm Mike Stone, mortgage lender with Megastar Financial. Reach out to me whenever you would like.